I'm not sure if you have heard about the game Wuthering Waves recently. It's a new anime-style game released by Kuro Game. Although I haven't played it, from what I've seen online these past few days, I found that Wuthering Waves is extremely similar to Genshin Impact. Both are open-world anime-style games, which is fine. But what's funny is that not only is the game content similar, but Wuthering Waves also has many of the same issues and stinginess with rewards as Genshin Impact by miHoYo. It's almost like they're twin brothers. First are some issues within the game. I was really surprised to find that Wuthering Waves has a system almost identical to Genshin Impact's artifact system, which in Wuthering Waves is called Echoes. Speaking of Genshin Impact's artifact system, I believe that aside from an extremely lucky few, no one will face this system. The time required to get a good artifact is completely unpredictable. It could be tomorrow or it could be 2,000 years later, as there is no guarantee drop. In fact, I've been playing since the game's release, primarily focusing on the Geo team. Yet I still haven't managed to get an excellent Geo damage cup. When you want to get a good artifact, you first need to obtain a piece with the correct main stat and good substats, ideally with 4 substats. But that's not the end. The most frustrating part is that after finally getting a good piece, you have to upgrade it 4 or 5 times, hoping the substats increase in the right way. The chances of this happening are ridiculously low. Many players, including myself, often spend months farming artifact domains without any improvement. And speaking of farming, it's worth mentioning that Genshin Impact's domain can be swept or skipped, forcing players to waste time on this repetitive task daily, which is extremely boring. This system seems purely designed to drag out players' online time without any real benefit, and it hasn't seen any substantial improvements over time. Unfortunately, Wuthering Waves has stubbornly copied this extremely frustrating design for Genshin Impact to its game, which is quite amusing. There's also the issue of not being able to skip storylines. Wuthering Waves has copied this from Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail almost exactly. Although some of the storylines in Wuthering Waves can be skipped, there are still many that cannot, forcing out players to watch the story without this option to skip. This level of arrogance is a rare among games that I know of. Fortunately, after strong opposition from many players, Wuthering Waves has announced that the skip feature will be implemented in the future, which is a much better attitude compared to miHoYo's. Another significant issue in Wuthering Waves is the problematic dialogue and storyline. In one scene, there's a line that goes something like this: "Soldiers on the front lines just need to focus on the battlefield, follow orders, and fight the enemy with all their might, but those in the rear have many more things to consider." But frontline soldiers and rear service personnel are equally indispensable and important, but this line belittles the dedication and sacrifice of frontline soldiers, elevating only the rear service personnel as heroes. Moreover, this line may have a deeper implication, which I'll leave for you to imagine. Additionally, it's been said that during the game's beta testing phase, there was a ridiculous storyline. Essentially, at a crucial moment when the protagonist and newly acquainted allies were about to defeat a boss, a character resembling a snow leopard suddenly appeared and stole the victory. What's even more unbelievable is that after the battle, the lines of phrase that were originally meant for the protagonist's team were directed at this character, as if the protagonist's efforts were completely ignored. I have to say, this storyline is strikingly similar to certain storyline in Genshin Impact and is also nauseating. They disregard the protagonist's efforts, attributing the credit to someone else, while belittling frontline personnel to praise rear service personnel. These lines and plot settings not only lack basic logic and rationality but also inadvertently convey a flawed set of values. Such output of values not only makes players feel uncomfortable but also could negatively influence the values of younger players. In response to numerous players' questioning, criticism, and dissatisfaction, the Wuthering Waves official didn't even make an announcement. They quietly deleted the line that belittled frontline personnel. And then there's the most important and funniest point: the stinginess of both game companies when it comes to players' rewards. Players of miHoYo games know how stingy miHoYo can be, with anniversary rewards that are almost negligible. The 1-year anniversary reward amounted to just free Eternal White Fates. Wuthering Waves is the same. In the Japanese server, there was an issue with the translation and description of a character's signature weapon. This resulted in the actual in-game ethics of the item not matching its description, which is technically commercial fraud, a very serious issue. The response from Wuthering Waves official was to compensate all Japanese server players with a grand total of 1 PO. Yes, you heard that right, 1 PO. Such a serious issue was met with a measly 1 PO as a compensation, just like miHoYo. This led to even stronger dissatisfaction among players. As the situation escalated, the officials finally caved to the pressure and announced that all Japanese players who performed a limited weapon banner could click on the link in the announcement to submit their information and apply for compensation. It's truly absurd. Overall, as a game, it is very important for the development team to take players' criticisms and feedback seriously. Only by earnestly revising and adjusting the problematic scripts or storylines, and optimizing certain in-game features can they regain the trust and support of the players, making it a truly excellent game. According to Wuthering Waves' recent announcements, the developers are actively addressing various issues. In this regard, they are already doing better than the arrogant miHoYo. Genshin Impact is already ruined, but Wuthering Waves still has many opportunities. Let's hope it doesn't become another Genshin Impact. Alright, thank you for watching. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comment section. Wish you a happy and joyful life every day.